Kerry Brown, Vice President. Okay, let me start over.
Okay.
Kerry Brown, Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs.
All right, I understand.
Montana.
Yeah, I understand that the president has released the final numbers for some of the reductions in staff and budget cuts that you have to make. And I know you're the one that has to crunch the numbers, Perry, and make the announcement. So, what is happening? How are things going to be changing at the University of Montana?
Well, the things that are going to be changes is by the end of June, there are some people that will have their positions eliminated, and the other changes are there are some people that are moving to other sources of funding rather than the general fund. And what we're going to have here is we're going to have the general fund in balance, the revenue there in balance with the expenditures against the general fund. So we've made some changes. We announced that we would have to reduce the number of full-time equivalent positions at the university, and we have developed a program to do that.
All right. So, what are the actual numbers? How many folks are going to be losing their jobs? And I think they're called full-time equivalents, correct?
Right, full-time equivalents. Well, the full-time equivalent adjustment is 192, but that's not 192 individuals. If we talk about people that have a permanent position or have had a permanent position at the University of Montana, there are 27 that are receiving layoff notices. There are a few others that are receiving a reduction in their full-time equivalent. As an example, from 1.0 to maybe 0.8, or from 0.8 to 0.7, or something like that. So there are a number of people that are affected very directly, either by a layoff or by a reduction in hours worked. So that's going on. But we also, when we started this, knew, and the president had announced on November 17th that there were a number of open positions at the University of Montana, that we also expected a certain amount of attrition. There would be some retirements, some resignations that occur, as they always do throughout the year. And so all of that is folded into the 192.
Okay. Now, what will this mean to the budget? Is it actually going to bring the budget into balance, or are there still some things that need to be done?
Oh, there's still some things that need to be done. So this will handle more than half of the gap that we predict between the revenues and the expenditures. But we still, out of non-personnel activities, need to reduce some of the operating budget of the University of Montana. First, to make sure that we are balanced for this fiscal year that we're in right now, and then for the upcoming fiscal year 17, we've got to make sure that that is in balance as well. So now that we have done this FTE reduction activity, we are turning our attention now to make sure that the full budget is built for 17 and that 16 is in fact balanced.
Okay, now I understand that one of the things that we heard recently was that 2017, perhaps an unexpected extra $10 million needed to be found. Were you able to do that?
Well, that's the projection that we made. That's nothing particularly recent. I mean, that was, I think, announced in the November 17th, is that, we had to get to that particular point. That's what we've been predicting for FY17. Now, that's a combination of things that are happening in this fiscal year with regard to getting the budget in balance right now, and some additional projections for next year. We had originally projected that we would have about a $6 million gap for next year, but then when fall enrollment came in and we took a $3 million drop in this fall because we had substantially lower enrollment, that's $3 million that had to be added into this picture, and then we carried what happened in the fall. We carry it in as a prediction for the spring, and so you put $3 million in the fall, $3 million in the spring, and the already predicted $6 million for next year, and you put those two numbers together, and you got 12.
So you have done better than anticipated.
Well, better, but we're anticipating that we're going to be able to figure out just how to get to the point we need to get to.
All right, that's perfect. All right, so I just find, because I know this is radio, so we don't have a whole lot of time.
Right.
But just real quickly, can you just wrap this up and tell us how the university will look fiscally once this is all done?
Fiscally, we're going to look as a university that has a responsible budget where the revenues that coming into the university in the general fund and the expenditures against the general fund are in balance, and that we don't have to do these kinds of exercises year after year or semester after semester, that we intend to really get this fiscal budget in shape right now, so we'll be in a position to begin to grow and readjust things in the university internally without having to go through major changes next year or the year after once we get this all in place. So we're moving in the right direction. I'd also say that for most students, they will not even see much difference at all, if any, from what we have been, because we're going to have actually more faculty members than we've had when we had the same number of students, say, in 2004. From between 2004, where this number of students was about the same as it is right now, we will have 30 more faculty members than we had in that year. And so the students are not going to see a substantial change. Now, I'm talking about the tenure track faculty that we've got, the permanent faculty on the university campus, but we're going to look, the students are not going to see much change at all. Certainly, the budget's going to be in balance. That's what we're working hard to do, and I think we're going to be in a very strong position for moving into FY17 and FY18.